The clock hums low above the kitchen light. March 14th, breathing silver and slow. Outside the window, cherry trees hold tight. Tiny blush secrets they barely show. Last night I tied beneath my blanket cave, thumb hovering over a fragile sin. Your name glowed softly on my screen, like a wish I finally dared to spend. Cocoa steam curls around my face, sweet and bitter on my tongue. In that quiet press of midnight blue, something tender just begun. The radiator whispers in steady rhyme, a lo-fi heartbeat in the hall. My phone lies bright upon the table, the only star inside these walls. Waiting at 5 dawn, with cocoa warm in both my hands. Your silent chat box shining on, like spring before it understands. If this trembling is a season, let it bloom before the sun. In the hush of 5 a.m., something new has just begun. The sky turns pale like water milk, streetlights fading one by one. Petals gather on the branches, braver now than when the night begun. I trace the rim of my empty cup, chocolate lines like little maps. Every second stretches wide between imagined high and perhaps. A truck rolls by in softened gears, footsteps pass and disappear. But in this room it's only me and the glow I hold too near. My fingers rest beside the phone, not touching just in case, as if one breath too loud might scare your answer from its place. Waiting at 5 dawn, with daylight brushing at the blinds. Your quiet window still goes on, a gentle weight across my mind. If this trembling is a season, let it open petal by petal. In the blush of early March, my restless heart turns gentle. Maybe love is like these blossoms unfolding when the air is cold. Maybe courage tastes like cocoa, sweet with edges I can't hold. The sky inhales a shade of gold, birdsong stitches through the blue. Even if your reply comes slow, this dawn has changed me too. Waiting at 5 dawn, now sunlight resting on my chair. Your name still glowing on my phone, but warmth is everywhere. If this trembling is a season, I will wear it like the spring. At 5 a.m. before the world, I learned my heart first petal opens to the street. Light spills softly on the floor. 5 a.m. becomes morning, and I am braver than before. White day evening fades to gray. I close the door with careful hands. You see you soon, still in the air. My room exhales a quiet hush, as if it knows what we just shared. I push the window open wide, cool drizzle breath against my skin. The scent of wet and waking streets rolls softly settling in. On my desk, your ribbon box, pale as clouds before they cry. Raindrops tap a steady coat against the dim and silver sky. My coat still holds your fleeting warmth, sleeves remembering your sleep. I sit upon the edge of now, too full to speak, too light to leave. Spring drizzle after confessing, falling slow across my room. Your voice replays between the rain, like petals drifting into bloom. In every drop that meets the glass, my racing heart comes down to rest. What's trembled wild an hour ago now hums in quiet in my chest. I slide a finger through the barrel, loosen knots you tied with care. Paper parts like fragile dawn, unfolding something rare. Inside a sweetness wrapped in white, and a note in careful ink. Your letters lean a little right, like they're shy of what you think. You wrote about the way I laugh, how it lingers after sound. Read it, the rain grows soft, a gentler rhythm all around. Street lights blur in watercolor gold, courses softly down below. Between each line you gave to me, a quieter courage starts to grow. Spring drizzle after confessing, tracing lines along the pane. Your steady eyes, your nervous smile return to me again. In every drop that cools the night, the echo of your words feels true. What fluttered like a startled wing now settles into something new. A lullaby, lo-fi pulses under skin. Each tiny drop a silver thread, sewing where we might begin. If love is just a fragile spark, caught between the dark and light, then let this drizzle guard its flame through the breathing of the night. I rest my forehead on the glass, cool clarity against my doubt. Outside the blossoms drink the sky inside. I let the fear drip out. Spring drizzle after confessing, now whisper instead of rain. Your name unfolds upon my tongue, with without the edge of pain. In every drop that greets the dawn, a quiet promise softly stays. What started as a trembling word becomes the warmth of coming days. The box lies open on my desk, ribbon loose and neatly curled. Rain keeps time beyond the glass, a softer kind of world. Spring drizzle after confessing, and I hold our beginning close.
Midnight after Wednesday, the desk lamp leaning over blank pages. I'm sitting at my desk, jacket on the chair, candy wrappers folded like small white flags. Outside the window the street lamp hums, silver light spilling on magnolia petals. This afternoon your fingers brushed mine, awkward laughter caught between us. When our hands finally stayed together, your warmth settled into my palm. We walked slower than the traffic lights, counting steps we didn't need to count. Your sleeve against my wrist, like spring testing the edge of winter. Now the room is quiet, only the ticking clock and my breathing. But when I close my hand, the warmth returns again. Magnolia diary on the street lamp glow. I'm writing down the way your hand felt in mine. Petals drifting on the asphalt road, like promises we didn't say out loud. Magnolia diary under street lamp glow, ink tracing the shape of your shy smile. Spring beginning in the smallest touch, still blooming in my hand tonight. Beside me has gone lukewarm, steam long faded into the ceiling. My palm still remembers the weight of your fingers laced between mine. Cars passing, blurred red lines, neon flickers over empty sidewalks. The magnolia tree outside lets go of petals one by one. I replay the moment you looked up, streetlight resting on your hair. You said it's colder than I thought, but didn't let go. On this page I try to capture the exact angle of your smile, but ink can't hold the tremble in your breath. I press my hand against the desk, as if yours might answer back between these quiet lines. Your name almost writes itself. Magnolia diary on the street lamp glow. I'm writing down the way you said my name. Petals falling soft and slow, like the courage in your voice. Magnolia diary on the street lamp glow. Every sentence leaning towards you. Spring beginning in a single touch, still blooming in this empty room. Lo-fi rhythms in my heartbeat, soft guitar echoing your laugh. If love begins this quietly, maybe it grows the same way under the street lamps. Patient halo, petals keep descending without a sound. Not every promise needs a witness, I'm just resting open hands. Tonight I don't need fireworks or a crowded room to prove it. Just this desk, this pen, and the memory of your warmth. Magnolia diary under street lamp glow. I'm writing down the start of us. Petals drifting wide and slow on the pavement of March. Magnolia under street lamp glow. Your warmth still living in my palm. Spring close the diary gently. Outside, one final petal falls under the street lamp. Steady light, my hand still carries the first page of our spring. March light spills across the floor. White dust dancing by the door. I'm standing where the locker's been. Morning bells not ringing yet. Your laughter from a year ago still hums in fluorescent breath.
Last Valentine, you're shy for you. A paper bag, a ribbon red. I kept the wrapper in my desk, pressed flat like words unsaid. In my palm, a white small box, edges warm from nervous hands. I practiced lines in empty rooms, confessing to the fans. Through the window, cherry trees comb the sky with fragile pink. One petal falling in slow motion. That's the moment I don't blink.
My name for you trembles on my tongue, like chalk before it meets the board.
If I don't say it now, it'll echo in the corridors.
This white box holds a year of almost.
Every after-school sunset glow. Every glance you thought I didn't. Take it before my courage goes.
If spring is just a door
Half open, then call my name and let it start. In this white box, softly broken is the first page of our heart. I saw you there by the window light, counting petals as they fell. Your shadow stitched to the hallway tiles, like you had a truth to tell.
I remember last year's trembling hands, how you wouldn't meet my eyes. I left you chocolate, walked away.
Hid my hope between goodbyes. All winter long in classroom seats, our shoulders brushed like secret notes. Your sleeve would graze my sweater cuffs, small sparks beneath our coats. When you said my name just now, it sounded new and soft and clear, like snow finally turning into rain, like something changing here. Your fingers shake around that gift, but your eyes are steady bright. If I don't reach for it, I'll lose this morning light. This white box holds a year of almost. Every word I couldn't show, every wish I folded quiet. Take my hand, don't let it go. If spring is just a door half open, and step inside, don't stand apart. In this white box, gently spoken is the first beat of our heart. A petal lands between our shoes, the world goes hushed and wide.
Your gift is light, but in my chest it feels like turning tide.
The hallway smells of pencil shavings, sun-warm floors and blooming air.
Your name for me,
silver in the stair. Friends were lines in careful ink, drawn straight across the page. But now the margins blur and breathe. We're stepping off the stage.
If this is what beginning means,
A tremor and a smile.
then let this white box split the year into before and now worthwhile.
This white box holds no more almost. No more practice in the dark. No more hiding folded feelings. We've struck a quiet spark. Spring isn't just the trees in blossom. It's how your eyes look into mine. In this white box, wide and open, our ordinary turns divine. In this white box, wide and open, spring begins the moment you smile. March 14th, beneath pink skies.
A white box and two surprised eyes.
And that's how spring began. White day, sunlight on the rail, pink confetti in the air. 3 years ago, this Riverside held 2 paper cups of coffee. Your sleeve brushed mine beneath the trees, petals falling soft and lofty. You cleared your throat, avoided mine, counted boats that drifted slow. The wind kept lifting strands of hair as if it didn't wanna know. You said my name like closing time. Chairs turned upside down on floors. The river swallowed what we were, and I walked home past darkened stores. That night I left my window wide, let April air run through my room. Pink petals stuck against the glass, small ghosts of what would never bloom. Back then the sky felt far too big, the bridge too long to cross. I traced our shadows on the ground, then watched them both get lost. I'm blooming through pain, like flowers through cracks in the pavement. The same pink rain once tasted bitter on my tongue. Now it falls the same, but it doesn't weigh a ton. I'm blooming through pain, and I'm not waiting for anyone. Today I walk the path alone, earbuds low, my footsteps steady. Vendors line the cherry lane, sweet rice cakes and paper confetti. The river glitters silver blue, sunlight stitched across its skin. I lean against the railing once, but I don't search for you again. A little girl runs past my side, arms stretched wide to catch the breeze. Petals gather in her hair, she laughs beneath the trees. I close my eyes and breathe it in, blossom scent and roasted corn. The ache that used to split my chest now feels like soil freshly torn. I thought that day it buried me beneath the fallen deepest underground where broken seasons lie. I'm blooming through pain, through winters I thought would not end. The same pink rain that once blurred out my view now falls again, and I can see it through. I'm blooming through pain, becoming someone new. No orchestra, no grand parade, just sneakers on a riverside. A memory walking next to me, but no longer as my guide. I place my palm against my chest, feel the rhythm slow and true. It doesn't race at your reflection in the water shifting blue. Petals land upon my shoulders, melt like letters never sent. What once was proof that I was lacking now feels like testament. If love returns, it'll find me here, not reaching out in plea, but standing tall beneath these trees, finally choosing me. I'm blooming through pain, not in spite of it, but because the same spring rain that once felt sharp as glass now calls my name as it's falling past. I'm blooming through pain, and this new season will last. White day afternoon, soft and white hand, river shining at my side. Pink petals drift, then drift away, I let them. I'm blooming anyway. Last week of March, rain on glass, yearbook dust on fingertips.
I found your face in glossy print, crooked tie and half shy grin.
Ink smudged names along the sleeve of uniforms we once lived in.
We wrote in margins after class,
Tiny hearts and careful code.
shared one pair of borrowed earphones on the long bus ride back home.
White day mornings, hallway bright, lockers humming like a hive.
I placed candy on your desk,
Then disappear before you'd arrive, wrapped in pastel cellophane.
strawberry and lemon drops.
By the time I looked around, only silence filled the clocks.
We were sugar without the flame.
Letters never fully sent. Spring would knock upon the door and we'd call it accident.
Candied memories revisited, melting slow on grown-up tongues. What we couldn't say back then still tastes of who we've become.
Every trembling hidden gesture,
Every step we couldn't take
turned to sweetness in the rain, no longer something we'd escape. comes with rain. Streetlights blur like watercolor. I trace your smile with careful hands. Paper thinner than it was before.
Back then I know, felt like the end. Cafeteria trays gone cold.
I counted ceiling tiles at night, measuring the dark in gold. But look at us, no longer hiding behind lockers' steel. We speak our hearts in open rooms, say exactly what we feel.
Those candies left like
tiny moons upon your desk of pale wood grain. We're practiced for the man I am, learning how to stand in rain. The shyest hands can still grow strong. The smallest spark can lead. What felt like quiet foolishness was planting secret seed.
candied memories revisited, no longer bittersweet. They're stepping stones across the years beneath our steady feet.
Every hallway hesitation, every glance we let slip by, build the courage in our chest to look love in the eye. Hear the rain upon the rooftops, soft percussion, silver thin.
Like wrappers opening, slowly letting warmer seasons in.
If I could meet that younger boy, I'd tell her not to run.
Your shaking hands are not your flaw, they're proof you've just begun.
Every almost, every silence, every sugar-coated fear was a map drawn in pastel ink that led us here. The rain keeps falling, gentle, kind. We close the book but keep the candied memories revisited,
Glowing through the years, what once dissolved in timid hearts now crystallizes clear.
Thank you for the quiet springtime.
For every unsaid line,
It made us brave enough to love right on time.
candied memories
Revisited, the sweetest starting sign. Rain against the window painting that doesn't fade away. From sugar to notes we left behind, we grew just in time.
floor on my sleeves. March 14th, 3 a.m. Oven light glowing like a small sunrise. You left on a morning smelling of cardboard boxes, cherry blossom petals stuck to your shoelaces. At the bus stop you pressed a folded note into my shaking hands, ink slightly blurred where a tear had dried. If we meet again someday, bake the cookies I love. 10 springs have fallen from the calendar wall, but your handwriting still leans like it's waiting for an answer. The street outside is quiet as snowfall, only the whisk against the bowl keeping time with my pulse. I kept the promise after a decade, sugar and butter melting into memory. In the glow of this little oven light, your name rises like warm air in the night. I kept the promise after a decade, and spring is knocking at my door. face in a blue-lit screen between latte photos and city skylines. Your smile, older maybe, but the same tilt of sunlight in your eyes. My thumb hovered like a paper plane, afraid of the wind. Hey, it's been a while since the oven hums low and steady. Chocolate chips sinking into soft constellations. Sweet air wraps around me like the scarf you forgot that winter. Notifications silent, stretching long. Heartbeat tapping on the counters. I kept the promise after a decade. Cinnamon drifting through the empty room. If you walk back through this doorway, there'll be 2 cups waiting near the moon. I kept the promise after a decade. Some friendships never fade, they bloom. Time isn't a thief tonight. It's a bridge of wooden boards we're crossing barefoot. 10 years fold like that letter, edges worn but unbroken. The first batch out golden, fragile, warm in my palm. Steam rising like a quiet prayer, like maybe distance was only a long inhale before hello. I kept the promise after a decade. Butter and sugar turning into grace. Even if all we share is this message, it's enough to warm this place. I kept the promise after a decade, and spring has found our old hiding place. Dawn leaks softly through the blinds. Pink light on cooling racks. My phone lights up. 3 simple words I remember too. The bakery smells like beginnings.
The ceiling turns into a silver sky tonight. I'm lying on a quiet bed of midnight blue. Street lights drawing constellations on my wall. On my desk a little box and paper white. Ribbon trembling like it knows it all.
Moonlight spills through half-closed blinds, painting halos on the wooden floor. I trace tomorrow in the air with shaking hands, like I've done 100 times before.
Earphones in,
A lo-fi lullaby.
soft drums tapping where my heart should be.
Every beat says you'll be fine.
But my pulse runs ahead of me. Under this moonlit confession rehearsal, I'm practicing the shape of your name. curtain sways with the tender breeze brushing whispers across my skin.
Every time it dances near, my heartbeat kicks like it wants to begin.
On your desk, that quiet promise waits wrapped in white and shy perfume.
You don't see it, but your eyes already shine brighter than the moonlit room.
Slow tempo courage,
Inhale, exhale,
counting 3, then 2, then 1.
your smile flickers behind closed eyes.
A rising golden sun under this moonlit confession rehearsal. I'm practicing the light in your name, in the glow of a white dress promise. Nothing will stay the same. If courage is just a small spark in the dark, let it bloom like spring in my chest. Tomorrow I'll place this hope in your hands. But tonight I rehearse the rest.
What if my voice forgets how to rise? What if my hands betray my heart?
Then let the moon be your metronome, let the spring wind play its part.
What if the ribbon slips from grace and all my careful words fall through?
Then look at the picture
You hold inside the way I always look at you. In this slow, bright, breathing silence, fear turns feather light and small.
The night is not a wall to climb.
It's a doorway after all.
Under this moonlit confession rehearsal, I'm singing the truth of your name, in a room where the shadows soften. Even my doubts feel tame. If courage is just a small spark in the dark, watch it bloom into light by my chest. Tomorrow I'll open this heart like a gift. But tonight I've rehearsed my best.
The box is waiting on the desk in white, and so is the morning light.
Close your eyes,
Let the spring wind light.
close your eyes.
Let the spring wind bless this moonlit confession rehearsal. Mid-March sun at 12 o'clock, silver spilling on the stream. Your sneakers pushing off the dock of a winter we outgrew like a dream. You rode ahead in denim blue, hair untied against the sky. Turned around and called my name with sunlight in your eyes. We used to race the river bend, count the bridges, laugh out loud, breathless on the gravel path, young and unallowed. Every pedal, every spin, wind against my cheek, the world reduced to you and me, and promises we didn't speak. Riverside pedal flutter, hearts in tandem, light as air. Spokes are drawing little circles on the noonday glare. Riverside pedal flutter, don't let this moment blur. If the road keeps stretching on, I'll keep riding next to you for sure. We slow beside the wooden bench, grass leaning toward the tide. You drop your bike against the rail and sit down by my side. From my bag of paper twist white candy in your hand, sugar dust upon your palm like snow that chose to land. You laugh and say it's melting fast. I say then let it be. Sticky fingers, river light, simple as can be. Your shadow crossing over mine, sun warm on our knees, a quiet hum inside my chest, moving with the breeze. Riverside pedal flutter, sparkling on the blue. Golden ripples clap their hands every time you do. Riverside pedal flutter, sweet against my tongue. If this path has any end, it's where our days are young. Needy love is not a shout, but wheels upon the ground, steady as a turning chain, soft mechanical sound. Not fireworks or crowded cheers, just sunlight on your face. Two bikes leaning side by side in the same small space. If tomorrow waits ahead, past the willow trees, let it find us hand in hand with scraped up happy knees. Riverside pedal flutter under open skies, future shining on the water, reflected in your eyes. Riverside pedal flutter, hold this noon forever. If the road runs far and wide, we'll ride it out together. Riverside pedal flutter, together. Bikes resting in the grass, candy wrappers folded tight, wind still tracing little maps in ribbons of white light. The path beyond the river curve waits in gentle blue, and I'm already moving toward it with you. March light spilled on wooden floors, two ice lattes sweating slow. You trace circles on my wrist with a straw you wouldn't let go. Cherry shadows on your cheek, homework spread but never done. We were counting falling petals like the day would never run. Your sleeve brushed against my hand, sugar dust on both our lips. Outside buses sighed and left, we stayed in between their trips. Now the blossoms start again, pale and trembling in the breeze, and I'm holding something white with shaking fingers, weak at the knees. Confession at Blossom Café, a white box on the table today. Marshmallow clouds and silver light melting where my palms turn white. Confession at Blossom Café, you smile and softly say thank you like a fragile spark, and my heart drums loud in the dark. Winter lived inside my coat, sleeves too long without your hand. 2 tickets is folded in my drawer from a movie we never planned. The seat across from me stayed neat. No bag, no scarf, no sound, only spoons against porcelain, echoing too loud around. Today your chair scrapes back again. You tuck your hair behind your ear. Pink petals press against the glass. You're suddenly so near. The ribbon slips beneath my thumb. Paper crinkles like last spring. My voice feels smaller than the sparrows fluttering. Confession at Blossom Café. A year of silence in what I say. Sweet as white on trembling tongue. Bitter where goodbye once hung. Confession at Blossom Café. Your thank you finds its way through the space we left between. Soft as petals barely seen. Petals falling without a sound. Landing on the window frame like all the words we never said. Still circling your name. Sugar turns to velvet rain. Dissolving on my tongue. Maybe love is not erased, just waiting to be sung. If spring can break the frozen ground with something small and white, maybe we can let this ache unfold into the light. Confession at Blossom Café. No grand speech, no bouquet, just marshmallow breath and bloom. Pink light filling up the room. Confession at Blossom Café. You look at me and stay outside. The petals drift and spin, and something quietly begins. White box open, half untouched. Cherry scent and fingers brush. Spring right softly on the glass. Not goodbye, but perhaps. Saturday breath on a silver sky. Steam curls up like a quiet sigh. The cafe window wears a veil of rain. Droplets tracing letters of your name. I stir my latte clockwise slow, watching the milk foam bloom and glow. With a wooden stick I draw a heart. It leans a little, falls apart. I whisper lines into the steam. Practice courage in between. Two lips awaken in a ceramic pot. Petals pink where the sun once caught. A tiny envelope by their side, holding words I like a raindrop confession. I fall for you more, practicing what I'll do. Ink and heartbeat intertwined, spring unfolding in real time. If my hands are slightly cold, it's the bravest thing I hold, like a raindrop confession, soft but new. I'm giving all of me to you. What if love is only this? A paper bridge above an abyss. What if blooming means to break the quiet rules we never shake? Rain keeps writing on the glass, moments we can't let pass. So I place the envelope between your hands, my only hope. No grand stage, no grand parade, just latte rings the cups have made. If my voice dissolves in air, at least my heart is standing there, like a raindrop confession. I fall for you through open skies of pale spring blue. Whatever answer forms your smile, I have left across the while. In this cafe washed in light, I have chosen not to hide, like a raindrop confession, brave and true. I've given this whole rain to you. Tulips breathe beside our cups, the window clears, the morning opens up. Somewhere in the gentle hue